Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and today I wanted to bring you my thoughts on this device. Center it as best I can. The PlayStation Portal. This is something that I had had an eye on for a while, but when they first announced it, I didn't pick it up. I had some hesitancies about it and decided to just kind of sit on it and wait and see what I thought about it. Well, in the interim, you may have seen a video I recorded where I did a review of the Logitech G Cloud, which is this device. I know the glare from my window here in front of my computer is awful, but we'll do the best we can with that. This device, the G Cloud, kind of changed my opinion a little bit on cloud gaming. And so the context there was I was traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday. I wanted to be able to play some Xbox stuff while I was away. I wasn't going to lug my Series X with me to my parents' house when I was visiting them. So I got the G Cloud. And the nice thing about the G Cloud is it can do more than just cloud gaming and Xbox remote play. It can do both of those things. And that's really primarily what it's designed for, I would say. You can actually stream your PS5 games to this, right? There is sort of an ad hoc secondary app you need to download to make it work properly, so you're not using the actual touch controls. It's called PS Play. Looks like this. If I can sort of move it over a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better. And it mostly does work. One thing I noticed, though, was at a distance, I really did have a lot of difficulty connecting to my PS5 with this. Now, the PS Portal is a totally different beast altogether. Well, not totally different, but different enough. And so with this, you get a standard DualSense controller essentially split in half and attached to a really solid screen. I will say, I think between these two devices, the Portal has the better screen of the two, but that's not to say that the G Cloud screen is bad. It's totally fine. This one's just bigger. It feels a little bit more, I don't know, crisp and bright potentially, but the screens on both of these are great. So I think the question I want to try and answer today are a couple of things. First of all, I'm just going to give you my impressions and overall thoughts on the Portal. I don't know that I would say this is a full review. I don't know, maybe it is, because I haven't really taken the Portal out of the house yet to try and use it elsewhere. So I can just sort of speak to what I've experienced since I've had this. And so the way that this came about was I decided, yes, I want to get the Portal because I love the DualSense. I want to be able to use that in a streaming capacity. I had a lot of trouble finding this thing. I mean, if you've been trying to find one of these, you'll know that it just sort of blinks in and out of stock at places like Best Buy, but it's really hard to find. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to wait a few months, wait till the stock sort of gets back together, and then just pick one up when I can. Christmas morning, I'm opening gifts. My wife had gotten me a shirt, and underneath that was a sheet of paper that said, "Congrats on your PS Portal. I managed to find one at Best Buy, and you can pick it up on Thursday." I don't know how she does it, but she managed to log on to Best Buy right when they were available and pre-order it for me because she's awesome, and she did that. And so I've had time to sort of mess around with that since Christmas, and today's December 31st, so I've had, a solid few days up to a week or so to kind of play with this. Well, actually, less than that. I would say since I picked it up, it wasn't on Thursday when I picked it up. It was actually Tuesday it was available. So maybe like 4 to 5 days I've had it, something like that. Anyway, I just want to give you my thoughts on that and kind of compare it to a device like the G Cloud and just tell you whether or not if you have something like a G Cloud or if you're used to remote play on your PC or whatever device you might be using, whether or not it's worth picking up a Portal. So, with the Portal, I mentioned this a moment ago, but I think the standout feature here has to be the controller. If you've seen any of the other reviews, the thumbsticks that are on this device are slightly smaller than what you get on a standard PS5 DualSense, but they feel really great. The controller itself is awesome. It's got the same haptics that you would want to see. It's got the same lighting color scheme that you would see when you're playing on a DualSense, the same built-in microphone capability, which is really nice. It's just very, very comfortable. And so I would say that if you're someone where when you play remotely, you want to have that same controller experience, you can't really beat what you get with the Portal in that regard. Again, the other standout thing here is the screen. I think it looks really nice and works really well. It's very crisp. It's not OLED. It's not 4K. It's 1080p as far as I can tell. But again, it looks really nice. So having played it here at home on my internet connection, so we have... It's AT&T fiber, so it's like 300 megabaud or megabits or whatever it is per second speed, so very fast. I really have not had any issues with this, but there was one situation, even at home, where it struggled a little bit. And if you're familiar with streaming gaming at all, remote play at all, you know that this is all really dependent on your internet's capability. There was one day where I was watching YouTube TV. I had some NFL games on. Both of my kids were upstairs in their rooms, each in their own room, playing on their own devices, Fortnite, on their headphones, screaming to each other to accomplish whatever objective it was they were trying to accomplish. And I was trying to play Avatar Frontiers of Pandora on my PS Portal, which that's a really fun game, by the way. I haven't done a review of that yet because I haven't gotten super far into it. I'm maybe like, I don't know, a quarter of the way done with it at this point. But anyway, At that point, with everything going on with the internet, it did get super laggy, and I wouldn't say that it necessarily brought it to its knees, but it was close. It was barely playable when I had all those things going on. However, if people are just streaming videos and content, or maybe one of the kids is playing online or whatever it may be, I have had no issues with lag or anything like that. Input lag, it's there and it's kind of perceptible at times, but for the most part, it's not a factor at all in my experience with this. So, in that regard, the Portal has been super cool. In fact, today's Sunday. Again, I'm recording this on December 31st. It's 12:56 p.m. I'm a Panthers fan. God bless me. As terrible as they are, I'm going to watch their game here in a little bit, but while I'm watching it, I'm going to keep playing the Crew Motorfest. That is my favorite racing game of this year, even more so than Forza Motorsport, which I know might be a little bit controversial to say, but I have loved the Crew Motorfest. It's one of those games I just keep coming back to. That's totally tangential, but because I want to watch the Panthers play, I'm going to have that on the screen, and I'm going to be playing Motorfest on my Portal, and it's super awesome to be able to do that. So the other question that I wanted to try and address that some people might have that I mentioned earlier is, if you have this device, is it worth getting the Portal? Again, I think it just comes down to how important to you is it to have the DualSense experience and a slightly bigger screen. If that doesn't matter to you, then I don't think it's worth $200 to get that. If you've got something like this, or you're okay playing on your PC and you can connect your DualSense to that without any issues, then that's totally fine also. However, having this haptics and feedback, that means a lot to me. Is $200 a little bit much for what this is? Probably. I think $150 would be a little bit more in the range where it's, I don't know, I think more in line with what I expect with what you get with the hardware here, because that's all this does, right? It just streams games. But I think with those two considerations in mind, if you're a PlayStation only person and you want that premium controller experience, get the Portal. It's totally worth it. If you play both PS and Xbox and you don't care as much about the controller experience, you just want to be able to play streaming on the go, something like this might be worth the extra little bit of cost. Again, I got this for $300, the Logitech G Cloud, and I have had a really good experience with it also. I will say, though, that between the two, the Portal does seem to stream PlayStation stuff better than the G Cloud, just in my limited experience with that. Could have been the situation I was in with my internet at home during that time. But for the most part, I think the Portal handles PlayStation stuff great. But again, factually, you can play both Xbox, PlayStation, GeForce Now, Steam items, that you have on your home computer. You can stream it to this. This is a really more kind of all-in-one device, but really more designed for Xbox. But the Portal is something I've been very happy with. Now, again, beyond those considerations from a design perspective, I have seen some people say that they are worried about breaking it, that it feels kind of delicate. I can attest to that. It doesn't feel super delicate, but it's one of those things that I feel like I have to handle with kid gloves a little bit when I'm done using it. So I try to put it somewhere where I know that the cat can't touch it, the dogs, the kids aren't going to mess with it, that sort of stuff. But so far, it's been a good experience with me. If I log on to my PlayStation and I take it from a rest state to jumping into the home screen, it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to do that, so not overly long. But again, it's been a very flawless experience and much more seamless than maybe I anticipated. Even setting it up was easy. You just open the PS app on your phone and scan a QR code and it just connects everything and you're good to go. Mine had to do like 2 or 3 updates, which took maybe 10 to 15 minutes when I first turned it on, but now it's good. So anyway, just my thoughts on the Portal. If you have the Portal, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.